And welcome to the Travel Oddities Podcast. I'm Brett.
And I'm Harley.
It is Monday, July the 11th, 2016. G'day, good night, good morning, wherever you are out there in this godforsaken, scorched earth hellhole that we've been living in for the last couple of weeks anyway. It is episode 36, the Arkansas Airship Mystery of Hot Springs, Arkansas. Or I
don't think people see air quotes. So let's just say
the day the steampunk aliens arrived in Arkansas.
Somewhere near Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Somewhere near Hot Springs, Arkansas. So, yeah, we're going to get into that for sure. This is one I've never heard of. I've never heard anything. We've talked similarly about stories like this. I think Aurora's
definitely right there.
It's right there in the same harbor,
time
different
frame
boat.
And genre.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're also going to get into another UFO story that happened in China, which is interesting. And in our news section, talk about what else to do while you're in Hot Springs, Arkansas. There's a lot of stuff believe it or not, there's a lot of stuff to do in Hot Springs, Arkansas, in around that area. Also going to get into some listener feedback. We've got quite a bit of that this week.
Yes, we do.
Things are looking up at the Travel Oddities Podcast. Most importantly, challenge number 2.
Yeah.
We got to get into the results of that, talk about how that went down in a new segment. If you're just joining the Travel Oddities Podcast, we've got a new challenge segment that we're doing now. And we're going to tell you how to give us feedback, tell you how to get a hold of us, all that and more right here on the Travel Oddities Podcast. Let's let her rip.
Hi, welcome back to World of the Psychic.
Together we shall cast ourselves into the future.
Seen any aliens lately?
This is a part of America we never get to see.
Are you by chance referring to the legend of the Loch Ness Monster?
A ball of twine that weighs 19,000 pounds.
What is this, nerd porn?
It is about the Templar treasure, but it's also about other things, conspiracy theories, urban legends, and other myths that are true.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the
Travel Oddities Podcast.
And indeed, this is the Travel Oddities Podcast. Yes, we've got to our neighbors to the northeast, Hot Springs, Arkansas. We've got steampunk, airships, all kinds of stuff. Let's just dive right in.
Okay. One of the most mysterious incidents in Arkansas history was actually tied to a series of similar reports that appeared around the nation in the years between 1897 and 1898. Again, the Aurora, Texas incident
right in that
range.
And there were sightings around the country of similar events that were taking place. So timelines are right there.
Yes.
Okay.
The alleged incident took place on May 6th, 1897 in the
Wichita Mountains.
Is it the Wichita Mountains? Is that how that's pronounced?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Yep. Because, we actually have the Wichita Mountains.
The Wichita Mountains that are spelled differently.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Near Hot Springs. So, as the story goes, Constable John J. Sumner Jr. and Deputy Sheriff John McLemore, those guys sound like they're straight out of a cowboy movie, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
They were investigating reports of cattle rustling near the community of Jesseville when they saw a bright light in the sky. The light disappeared behind the hilltops, and the men continued their ride, but after a few more miles, they again saw the light. It was much closer to the earth and rising and falling. After that, it disappeared. The horses suddenly refused to continue.
So far, this sounds a little bit more, and not to discount Aurora, but this sounds a little bit more, even at this point, sounds a little bit more plausible, a little bit more believable. Why are you looking at me like that?
Dude, you're calling bullshit on one of our past episodes.
No, okay. Let's just get it. We'll get it. We're not even to the meat yet.
Okay.
We're not to the meat yet.
It's not included in the feedback, but we did get a little bit of feedback that I would like to point out.
Uh-huh.
That on our last episode, we might have had what was perceived as being a skeptical view on the Biltmore Hotel.
Okay.
So
I'm not having a skeptical view. I'm just saying, okay, how do I backtrack here?
I don't know.
How do I dig a hole in the sand in high tide and then fill the hole back up? I guess just wait for the tide to do all the work. But I'm just saying, so far it sounds like we're on target for a decent story here. I'm not, by saying decent story, I don't mean bullshit. I mean,
Okay, so after the horses would refuse to continue, the two officers saw people moving around with lights. Demanding that the mysterious people identify themselves, the two lawmen were startled when a man with a beard, approaching holding a lantern, announced that he and his two companions were traveling the country in an airship.
Okay, so there, we don't have your stereotypical grays. It's probably a guy that looks kind of a little bit like a miner, probably.
The problem with the airship, powered blimps weren't invented until 1897.
Okay.
So, or hadn't been invented in 1897.
Yeah, but are we going to say the first guy that the first guy that invented the wheel was the only guy that built the wheel at the time? I mean, we don't know.
I don't disagree with you, but
I mean, unless you're the Wright brothers, are you the only person that's thought about flight?
I'm just saying, if you invented a flying airship, I'm pretty sure you're going to land in town proper and announce yourself and stop by the patent office and collect your giant check from whoever's handing out giant checks for incredible inventions.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, you know, you never know.
No, I don't disagree that there's a possibility that some tinker figured out how to make an airship and just thought, hell, let's go. Road trip.
Mean, Da Vinci, for crying out loud, was tinkering with the idea with flight even back then. So, but it didn't become really popular until the Wright brothers. I mean, I'm sure there have been some people that have come and gone between then and there.
This bearded man showed the cops his unusual craft. They reported it as being cigar-shaped, about 60 feet long. The mysterious man tried to coax them aboard the craft, but they refused to go.
I don't blame them. Not a bit. If it's if I'm asking, I'm like, is this in the alpha stage? Because flight, it's an alien.
Well, at this point in time, yeah, the whole concept of flying is voodoo.
Voodoo, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not going.
Okay, so when they returned to the same place later in the night, there was no trace of the airship or its occupants. According to the story that I saw, again, newspapers at the time were filled with stories similar to this report.
Oh, yeah, it was all over.
So no claims of responsibility for the incident had ever surfaced. And not long after the Arkansas incident, a man in Mississippi reported a similar encounter with the airship and described the craft in much the same way.
Now, do we have were there any details as to how this craft, was it a hot air type? Was it a Zeppelin type airship?
That is the full description as I can find it.
Okay.
Cigar shaped, no explanation for its ability to fly.
Again, the Aurora incident was a cigar shaped craft.
The difference between this and the Aurora incident is there's wreckage. Supposed wreckage.
That's been cemented over in a well. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth.
Right.
And the town really, and they supposedly buried a
body in the cemetery.
A body in the cemetery in an unmarked grave. So, but I don't think they buried a guy with a beard and I don't know, whatever kind of hat he was wearing, a miner's cap or whatever.
Okay, so this is not the end of the story as I see it.
Right.
Okay, so they're much fast forwarding way into the future. So they were right around the same time as the Aurora airship incident. Then again, in 1946, in November of 1946, according to a United States Air Force private stationed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, they had found a disc from Arkansas, which was being stored at Building 18, later to be known as the infamous Hangar 18 in modern-day ufology.
Interesting twist.
So, right around the same time as Roswell, from this same place, they have another incident that matches up with another UFO, famous UFO.
See,
incident.
And again, how could they have corroborated this? It sounds too on the nose to be like, I don't know, like it doesn't sound hoaxy. It just sounds like again, we go with what we know in history. We've had Roswell. These things are happening at the same time.
I just think it's a weird coincidence that they would have an airship incident similar to the one in Aurora, Texas, at basically the same time.
And then we go fast forward
another 50 years, and they have a Roswell incident at almost exactly the same time.
Right.
It's strange.
It is strange. Very strange.
Okay, so the private was delivering documents to a building when a friend in his unit on guard duty asked him if he wanted to see a strange craft stored in a building. He followed him inside, and to his surprise, a disc-shaped object was sitting on the deck. It was 15 feet in diameter and about 7 feet in width. He said it looked like 2 soup bowls sealed together. In the center was an 18-inch divider with a 10 by 15-inch rectangular window set in at about 8 to 10 inches apart, circling the entire disc.
That's very specific measurements, very specific descriptions for something that's not real. Or I'm not saying it. I mean, someone could have built it, but it's very descriptive. It
is very descriptive, and I would say the fact that it's so descriptive, and I've got some more description here, but the fact that it's more descriptive leads me to one of two camps.
Mm-hmm.
You either describe something in great detail because you remember it, and it's hammered in your head, or do you describe something in great detail because you're fabricating a story?
That's true, too.
So, I'm not calling bullshit by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying,
I think if you have an imagination, as you read the description, I'm seeing it as it's, you know what I mean? And it's very clear to me, and I'm not a geometry expert, and I'm not an aircraft expert, but I can see the description. It doesn't look like something that's out of it does look like something that's out of a movie just because that's the way we live, but I can see it. So I'm convinced, and I haven't touched a damn thing.
Okay, so the guard told the private that several scientists were attempting to gain entry into the interior. They tried to use a diamond drill to penetrate the glass, but the drill had no effect on the clear material. There were no visual doors or entry hatches, no insignias, no flags, no writing, no numbers. The material appeared to be a mold of one continuous material. It appeared to be brushed aluminum, but they said they were sure it wasn't. The body inside and out had no weld seams, no rivets, no apparent joining of the skin. They both looked into the interior and did not see anything of apparent interest, no control panels, no seats, no hatches, no entities, nothing. The cylinder was in the center of it. Its wall was about 6 feet from the window. The cylinder was about 3 feet in diameter and possibly housed the power unit. Okay, I might have read that wrong, or
you might not have read it wrong.
But apparently there was a cylinder in the center that they could see from the windows in the center of the aircraft, but they couldn't tell what it was.
But here's my thing, and we're on that point where we can start kind of going, all right, now hang on a second. No control panels, no visible way to navigate. I don't see that they're that technologically advanced that they can just fly this thing using, ESP. I don't understand how or unless it's being controlled by, it could be essentially like a drone being controlled by a larger craft or being controlled remotely from somewhere else, perhaps. But that would be the only way that would even make sense to me.
Well, okay, so Connor and I just watched the new Independence Day.
You want your money back? I'll give you $8.
It was rough. It was not.
It was not Independence Day.
It was bad. It was bad all the way around. Like bad acting, bad storyline. It was just. But Connor liked it. But he's 10, so the reason I brought it up though, they were telepathic.
Okay.
So, again, just because you don't see any switches and you're used to seeing switches, you can do a lot on your phone. It doesn't have any buttons. Or for the most part, it doesn't have any buttons.
But what if you have, telepathically, but you see a shiny object or you see a squirrel and you get distracted? Is that when you crash into a windmill? In the middle of Aurora, Texas, because you have ADD?
No, they were probably playing Pokemon Go.
Probably, which I'm looking to burn a couple thousand calories. Maybe I should start Pokemon Go. But anyway, that's for something else. But Man, I don't know. Now you've brought Hollywood into it.
I know. And
I was happier when I thought it was a drone.
We got to back up.
Okay.
So if it is a drone, great. I mean, that makes sense. It's not horribly big. You're not going to cross a galaxy in a one-bedroom apartment.
No.
You know, it's a scout ship or it's a drone or something of that nature if it's, you know, in fact, an alien.
Right. I remember as a kid, similar story. I understand what it would be like to have a remote-controlled drone. You remember having a remote-controlled car, you drive it, you could get it down to the end of the block, but the range wasn't enough to get it back, so you'd have to go back and get it within range. I understand. I understand exactly what's happening with these alien aircraft. They're getting it to the end of the galaxy and they have to retrieve it, or it crashes it through a windmill in Aurora, Texas.
So, that is all of the description that I've got on the saucer that was found near Hot Springs. But there are a whole lot of other sightings in and around the area. So, I mean, if you want to delve further into it, or if you want to just go to the area, it's a secluded place. You're probably going to see something in the air that you can't explain if you stay there long enough and look into the skies.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. You had to put that little look into the skies like you're freaking Leonard Nimoy. Jeez, that's highly illogical.
Did you just say Harley illogical?
Oh, well, okay. Harley illogical then. I meant to say hardly illogical and I said Harley illogical, but yes, Harley, you are you are very illogical.
Okay, so some skeptical points of view or some skeptical anomalies. There were a lot of suggestions that it might have been a hoax. There were a lot of people trying to get attention at the time. So you had people who were performing pranks. There were publicity stunts. A lot of claims of people having hallucinations.
Come to our town kind of situations. We've got a UFO too, or come to the home of the airship. Stay for a piece of pie. Come by so-and-so's general store while you're watching for the UFO airship. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, stay at our brothel.
Okay, so...
brothel.
There was one man who suggested that the airships were swarms of lightning beetles misidentified by observers. I'm not buying that. I'm skeptical of that skeptic.
I'm skeptical of nature. There's no way beetles could do that.
Alrighty,
it's impossible.
Okay, so I guess really then we just need to get into the defense against the dark arts on this one.
Be warned. It is my job to arm you against the foulest creatures known to wizard kind. You may find yourselves facing your worst fears in this room. Know only that no harm can befall you whilst I am here. I must ask you not to scream.
All right. So I went a little unconventional on our Defense Against the Dark Arts segment.
Mortar fire?
No. To defend yourself, or not necessarily defend yourself, but to help you. If you're abducted by
a bearded alien.
Punk bearded alien. Okay, so location Earth dog tags.
Oh.
I've included the link. You can purchase these. They're $12.99. For the modest price of $12.99, you too can own a Location Earth dog tag necklace on which several methods of locating Earth in the galaxy have been engraved. This looks to be a line drawn from Earth's position into the planetary system by two waving people, and then on the United States of America, and then on to the United States of America, like drop us here.
Okay.
Okay, so the situation in which this necklace is helpful is if your alien captors want to bring you home, but are like, LOL, where did we get this one? What's great is that the site owners offer a full $12.99 refund in the event that you are abducted, but never make it back to Earth.
So these, what I'm seeing, what I'm visualizing in my head is, I'm sure they still make these, but you remember the old, the bracelets that said diabetic or Parkinson's? that to me, that's kind of what it's like a UFO version or an alien version of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they're going with that.
Instead of giving me some orange slices or orange juice to get my blood sugar, I'm telling you to drop me back at 1200 East 12th Street.
Okay. Yeah, so I thought it was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not familiar with any tried and true methods of defending yourself against an alien invasion. I mean, Will Smith, had to. There were a lot of steps involved in that one.
There's this week too that we've referenced Independence Day.
Yeah,
we did it on July 4th when you do a July 4th show. I think even the week if you do a July 4th show at any point, you've got to reference Independence Day.
I would agree.
Literally and figuratively speaking, but I don't know. I haven't seen the new Independence Day, so I don't know what they did to destroy the invaders. But you want to spoil that for us?
No, I hate spoilers, so just needless to say that you're going to be saddened and disappointed and angry.
So apparently it does star a picture of Will Smith, the movie does.
No, it's not a picture of Will Smith. It's a painting of Will Smith.
Oh, it's a painting? I thought his son had a picture of him that he kept in his locker.
Oh, maybe I did see that. Okay. But there is a painting hanging in the White House of Will Smith's character from the first movie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Okay, so you want to move on to the town of Hot Springs?
Let's do it, man.
Do you have your top
Okay, so here's
list?
here's what happened.
Okay.
If I can access on my phone, I will do it. One of my dogs that has to be under lock and key.
Ate your Chromebook?
No, ate the charge cable to my Chromebook, so I don't have my access to Movado.com. And I can't try to sell you storage units through AAAStorageUnits.com because I don't have any of the stuff I need in front of me. If you'll give me some time, I can look it up and we can pull something together.
All right. The dog ate your homework.
And the dog literally ate my homework.
Come on.
But I love her. She's so squishy and so cute.
All right, so I'll give my background information on Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
It's the 11th largest city in Arkansas and the county seat of Garland County. It's located in the Wichita Mountains among the U.S. interior highlands and is set among several natural hot springs, hence the name. The city contains a population of approximately 35,000 people. There are members of many Native American tribes related to this area. And a lot of the Native American tribes express a healing property related with the thermal springs. Now, some other things that you can do in and around Hot Springs, Arkansas. They have the Arkansas Alligator Farm and Petting Zoo. I'm not gonna go there.
Why not?
Dude.
You're not gonna go there literally or figuratively or what?
No, I'm physically not gonna go to the Arkansas Alligator Farm and Petting Zoo. I do not want to pet an alligator.
Okay.
I like my limbs attached to my body.
There's a video, by the way, speaking of alligators, has nothing to do with Arkansas. It says, it's clickbait, see what this guy reeled in. He caught a freaking alligator in the ocean. Nowhere is safe from alligators. By the way, I'm able to access my Movado.com.
Okay, that's fine. And as soon as I'm wrapped up the rest of my Arkansas...
And I get my top 5 plus a bonus.
Okay. So there's also Bathhouse Row in Hot Springs National Park. Brett, I thought you might be interested.
Yes. Well, something tells me that a bathhouse in Arkansas isn't probably much like the bathhouses in San Francisco. I'm just saying.
Damn it.
I'm just saying.
I really wish I would have clipped the dueling banjos.
Yes. I'm going to kill somebody for opening the door just now.
What? There's nobody at the door, dude.
There was.
No.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so Bathhouse Row, Brett, I think you need to book a flight right away.
Hell, we can drive. No.
There ain't no we to that trip.
We're not no we?
No.
Not even the figurative we?
No, you're on your own. Okay, so some interesting people.
Okay, but I'm saying if you could not say Bathhouse Row again, I mean, it sounds like we're going to like strip joint row, like where all the strip joints are.
I'll stop, and I'll get onto some notable people from the area.
Okay.
Bill Clinton, governor of Arkansas and the 42nd president of the United States.
Yes, and he did not inhale.
This was his boyhood home, and he is known to visit Bathhouse Row.
Yes. Does that surprise you?
I made that part up just so I could say Bathhouse Row again.
Was it with Jennifer Flowers or?
No, it was with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, really?
Actor, director, Academy Award-winning screenwriter, was born in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
I like Billy Bob. How do you feel about Billy Bob?
I really liked Billy Bob until I found out he had a vial of blood hanging around his neck.
Oh, yeah.
Neck from Angelina Jolie.
Oh, man, I'd love to have her blood. Well, I mean, Brad Pitt gets her blood once a month, but sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, so
so I guess really the irony of Brad Pitt having the blood of Angelina Jolie every month is because he was also in Interview with a Vampire, right?
Yes.
He played the vampire Lestat, is that correct?
I thought that was...
Oh, that was.
What's his name? Why can't I think
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it was
Tom Cruise, man. The best actor in Hollywood. So anyway, I was able to get my list.
All right, so bring it.
So, something you probably didn't know, that diamonds were first discovered in Arkansas by John W. Huddleston in 1906, where a crater of Diamond State Park stands now. Now, I've been there. You can pay a small fee, I think it's a small fee, and go into this diamond mine, and whatever you find, you get to keep.
Right. Actually was planning on having that be a show at some point in time.
Yeah, it's interesting. It makes for a hot afternoon, but if you're on the Trail of Diamonds, that's the place to go. Now, number 2, you probably know that Arkansas is the natural state, but did you know that the Magnet Cove region contains 102 varieties of minerals alone?
I did not know that, Brett.
You sound so surprised.
I am.
Number 3,
surprised.
Did you know? Hang on a second. I'm going to go back. That's a law. I'm going to go back to do another one. Number 3, Hope is also home to a certain saxophone. Hope, Arkansas, is also home to a certain saxophone playing president. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He's from Hope, Arkansas. But did you know that he put AstroTurf down the back of his El Camino? Did you know that about Bill Clinton?
I did not. Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, we pride ourselves in being kind of hot dog connoisseurs.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a point of pride, but
remember this. We like hot dogs here at Travel Oddities.
People cannot see my sad face.
We love processed meats. It's basically what we're saying is we love processed meats.
Disappointment.
Cheese dogs were created in Little Rock at the Finkbeiner Meatpacking Company in 1956 by inserting cheese into the center of a hot dog.
I'm kind of a hot dog purist. I'm not a fan.
All right. Well, here's our law, because I love to do a law. It is strictly prohibited by law to mispronounce. It's against the law to mispronounce the word mispronounce also the state name. Like, if you mispronounce Arkansas, you call it Arkansas, it's against the law.
Everywhere in Arkansas?
They even have it. Look, see how it's written? I mean.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. There's your top 5 plus a bonus of interesting facts you didn't know about the state of Arkansas.
Thank you, Brett.
Which means our next show we do about Arkansas, I can't do these again. I have to do I can do another. There's like 50 of them, so I can do 10 more shows. 10 more Arkansas shows.
All right, so I did find a place to eat in Hot Springs. I normally spend a lot of time going through and trying to find some place that really appeals to us. Mm-hmm. This time I picked purely on the name. Mr. Whiskers.
Okay. Catfish, I'm guessing.
It is a catfish restaurant in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It has very good reviews, so try it out, but it's basically seafood. They've got ribs as well. But yeah, it's a seafood joint, so
cool.
Looks pretty cool.
Do you eat seafood?
A little. I actually have a shellfish allergy. I know.
You're so shellfish, dude.
I know.
When people take you out to eat, it's all about you. You're so shellfish.
Yeah. But I like fish and chips, that sort of thing.
Okay.
I do.
Because you've been to England once.
No, I like fish and chips because they're
tasty.
They're deep fried.
Do you like do you like malted vinegar on your fish and chips?
I'm kind of more of a tartar sauce kind of guy.
I like tartar sauce. Growing up with, in
fish sticks.
I was trying to, make a fancy name for it, like growing up with sticks made of fish, which fish sticks are basically, they're the hot dog of the ocean. If it says cod or what, they're lying. It's the hot dog. It's what's left from the salmon patties. But yeah, growing up with sticks made of fish, it was ketchup mixed with tartar sauce.
I don't know if I've ever tried that.
No, you're not going to find it at any bougie restaurant. It's a secret homemade recipe.
Southside Oklahoma.
It has to be
City
fancy
kind of thing.
ketchup.
Oh, okay. All right. So that is our restaurant then.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Whiskers on Malvern Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then, our new segment?
It has not, I'm going to be honest with you. We've talked since we've started this last.
Dude, why are you talking? You're talking about the segment before we get into the segment?
Okay. I'm sorry. Let's just, lead in.
Hard decisions call for hard solutions, and here are two hard asses ready to step in and take charge. You asked for them, you got them.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Do it! Just do it!
I'm gonna take you to the bank, to the blood bank.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody!
You believe in Jesus? Well, you're gonna meet him.
Repatriate feeling. Here to serve.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Yes, we did kick its ass, or it kicked mine. I think the secret.
Okay, so last week's challenge was 7 days of
positive thinking.
The secret, positive thinking, or the having an attitude of gratitude.
There was air quotes there, by the way.
Yeah,
theater of the mind.
Sorry,
don't know, because when I called you 4th of July and I said, "How was your 4th of July?" Man, it was great.
It was really
good. And I'm like, why so upbeat? He goes, man, I'm using the secret. I mean, you were all on board. You bought in hardcore.
No, I will say, I said that to you as a jest.
I did not get jest.
Okay, no, it was legit, but it was weird. The 4th of July, okay, I got 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
If I plan something,
and it goes off without a hitch.
No, if I plan something, I pretty much have to have the attitude that plan is basically best case scenario, or if all the stars align, but the plan never happens the way that we plan it. We have to adjust all day long.
Right. And not all kids, for once you got the kids to agree on cheese pizza instead of, I want pineapple, I want hamburger.
But the concept of an entire day,
mm-hmm.
of a plan for a 16-hour period,
mm-hmm.
all happening the way that we predetermined is virtually impossible. It's like picking all of the Powerball numbers 10 days in a row.
Well, you had some luck. You were doing the secret. I was living by the credo of Fight Club. Was the first rule of Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. And me and Karma were in a bare knuckle down to the 13th round, 7 days of blood sport. We'd get through beating each other up and say, can we do this start again in the morning? I'm not feeling this. Sure. I had some stuff stolen off my porch. I mean, it just, Murphy's Law, Karma, one of them got me from behind. The other one was punching me in the gut for about 7 days. So again, I try to stay positive. It's hard, man.
So be honest. Yeah. Honest feedback for the segment.
Honest.
How did you... do you feel like you had any positive ramifications from doing a daily positivity mantra?
I think, again, you have to be one of those people that doesn't kick your own ass on a daily basis. And there's a lot of us that do. I think if you have a positive outlook and a positive mindset, that good things will come.
Okay, and so I'm typically pretty positive.
Well, yeah, you really, of the two of us, you're the most positive.
So I didn't have a whole lot of problem, practicing the main tenets of The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it, like physically saying those sorts of things, even if you're saying them to yourself, seems hokey.
Yeah.
But I will say that I felt better. And I think it just makes you recognize good things, which in turn puts you in a better mood, which in turn makes good things happen. People like people that are happy.
Right.
So I think there's probably something to it. I don't know if it's the universe twisting things to fit your attitude.
Well, it's the saying, what does they say? Smile and the whole world smiles with you. I mean, I think a positive... I do small things to make myself feel good, that I don't go straight to Facebook as I'm doing them to say, I just did this. And, and expect the universe to re-gift itself to me or put me in line to win the lottery or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pick up $100 bill. I pay it forward a lot. But I mean, that's kind of the way I kind of keep myself, my positive chakras aligned, if you will. But I think, it's one of those things where even if, for instance, if you don't read the whole Bible, you get the general idea. And even if you're not Christian, you get the general idea. If you do good deeds, good things can happen. If you think positively, then even minor pitfalls, even potholes in the road, you're able to endure those, and it's not damaging. You can, it's perseverance, and it's just not being a douchebag.
Okay, so I have a quote from, you're looking at me with your crazy eye.
You look like you're about to cry.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a quote from the movie Signs.
Okay. Great movie. I love the movie.
Why?
Well, because when I think of Signs, I automatically think of, which scary movie was it with Charlie Sheen, who played Mel Gibson's character? And when she's trying to describe to him what happened to his wife, and she's like, she takes the hot dog and breaks it in half. This is your wife, snap.
What's up with the hot dog theme, Brett? Come on. Okay, so it's a quote from Mel Gibson's character from the movie Signs.
Mm-hmm.
He said, when he was talking to his brother, and his brother was looking for him to console him, the world's going to end kind of thing.
Right.
And so he gave that speech. I had to pull it because I think it really applies to The Secret. So I'll just read it verbatim. So people break down into two groups. When they experience something lucky, group number one sees it as more than luck, more than coincidence. They see it as a sign, evidence that there is someone up there watching out for them. Group number two sees it as just pure luck, just a happy turn of chance. I'm sure the people in group number two are looking at those 14 lights in a very suspicious way. For them, the situation is a 50-50. Could be bad, could be good, but deep down they feel that whatever happens, they're on their own, and that fills them with fear. There are those people, but there's a whole lot of people in group number one. When they see those 14 lights, they're looking at a miracle, and deep down they feel that whatever's going to happen, there will be someone there to help them, and that fills them with hope. See, what you have to ask yourself is, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, that sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky? Or look at the question this way: is it possible that there are no coincidences?
Powerful words by a powerful man, Mel Gibson.
I like Mel Gibson. I wish he wouldn't have flipped out.
But people do.
I know. Okay, so in summation, I think Brett and I both feel like there's something to it, but it may not be paranormal.
Right.
It may just be think positive.
It's about doing something maybe abnormal to you, which is being positive.
Right.
Okay, not abnormal to you, but
right. No, yeah, I got you.
As a populace.
So next week's Odd Challenge, we put up a poll. We had quite a few people give us some extra ideas for maybe future options.
Or an 18-month journey.
Thank you, Denny Kish, for your recommendation for an 18-month challenge. But it did come down to lucid dreaming for next week. So the plan is Brett and I are both going to download an app that you're supposed to be able to listen to as you go to sleep that will assist you into slipping into lucid dreams. I am going to ask Brett right here on the spot if Brett will do a daily video telling his lucid dream experiences and post it to the website.
Because you guys know I love to be in front of the camera.
That's kind of why it was my suggestion. But we did, so again, lucid dreaming, but we did have some additional items that were added to our master list for upcoming challenges. Stimulation of the third eye. I think we may nix the hallucinogenic material option on this.
Yes. Can I add a caveat to that?
Which part?
The lucid dreaming.
Sure.
Why can't you do a video?
I feel like I put enough in here that asking me to do more is unfair, Brett. I feel like
that's true. I mean, it really is true.
I'm pulling the whole cart here, and all I'm asking you is to pick your feet up and quit dragging me down.
You're just playing. No, you're not.
I'm just playing.
No, you're not. You pull the whole hot dog cart. So
what is up with the damn hot dogs?
Could be something cryptic.
Cryptic hot dogs.
On the next episode, cryptic hot dogs.
Okay, so again, we'll put out a new poll later this week, probably closer towards the end of the week for people to select next week's challenge. But this week, lucid dreaming. So
for those do we have a quick? This is what lucid dreaming is.
Lucid dreaming, boiled down, is having dreams that you are aware that you're in a dream and you control the environment that you're in. You have full control.
This could go, let's think about how your brain works.
Yeah. I know, Brett, you're probably going to put a higher rating on our show. Something that's towards the R ratings. But you've shown some pretty good ability to temper.
I have.
Your output.
I have. So we've gotten better.
Yeah, I don't think that we've said we've kind of stayed away from the super fringe. I don't even know how to. We've stayed away from the R rating lately.
Okay, the super fringe cringeworthy stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
There we go.
Okay, so we still touch on the subjects, but again, we're tempered.
We're tempered.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get my dream on.
And I really liked the feedback on the
yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback.
Well, I meant on the actual poll. I really liked the feedback. I like that you're actually bringing some new ideas. Now, some of them might have been a little bit far-fetched, Lobo. But again, I really like the feedback, so keep that up. We'll have a new poll out later, and but we've got more feedback to go over right now.
Listener feedback.
Bring it, my dad.
All right, so again, a lot of feedback this week. We've got Nancy Bulpett shared our show on her Facebook page, so thank you very much, Nancy. Also, along the same lines, we have JC Thompson shared our show on his Facebook page.
Sharon is Karen, or Sharon is Nancy or JC.
Right. Again, as far as the most impactful thing you as a listener can do to help our show is to share it. Liking's great. Tell people about it. But at the end of the day, sharing it to as many places as you can it gets us in front of more people.
I believe that's also a quote from syphilis. Maximum exposure, share me. That's the best way. The best way to exposure is to share me. That was a quote by syphilis. An ancient prophet named Syphilis.
Interesting.
Spread the word, basically.
And who was the person that we should attribute this quote to?
Syphilis Maximus, a Greek philosopher.
Didn't I just say we were doing better about tempering the...
Just saying. Spread the word.
Okay, so...
When in Rome.
Okay.
I'm done.
You're killing me. All right, so we've got a clip from one of our executive producers.
Yes.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
Breaker 19, this here's a rubber duck.
Like I told my last wife, I says, honey, I never drive faster than I can see, but...
Well, I'm a bad trucker, baby.
Hey, Brett and Harley. It's your super fan here, Bad Mother Trucker. No scary story this week. It's hard to tell a good story in 3 minutes, but this message is actually for all the other listeners here. You know, I want to hear some stories from you guys. I want to hear your feedback. You know, if you like Travel Oddities, you know, let the world know. These guys are getting better and better every episode. Every Monday, they put out an episode without fail, without delay. You know, they're on top of their game, so let's show them some support. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your week. Looking forward to the episode on Monday. Peace.
All right, Anthony Shear, thanks for the feedback, brother. We need another one of those scary stories you promised us.
Oh, yeah.
On next week's show.
Yes, most definitely. He's been rather absent lately.
I don't know that he's been absent. He's he missed a week or two just because of scheduling, so no big deal.
Well, you know, smuggling drugs is really popular this time of year, so maybe he's doing that.
That's a possibility.
Just kidding.
We got another share with a really good comment. One of my new favorite listeners, Amy Cummins Hatfield. She shared our post. She said, "Why are you holding your fingers up and giving me the big eyes?"
Trivia.
Okay.
So I did have a small conversation with her. She is related to the Hatfields of the Hatfields and McCoys. That does nothing for you.
No, I think that's super cool, but I don't know what you I didn't know if you were done. Okay.
I'm on her side.
So
I agree with the Hatfields.
Team Hatfield.
Team Hatfield.
All right. So she said, I'm a total podcast junkie. I discovered Travel Oddities last month and binge listened my way through the esoteric shenanigans of Brett and Harley, and I'm hooked. These guys are smart-assed, funny, and this podcast is packed full of odd and obscure info. Their take on the gastrointestinal sin-cleansing capabilities of kombucha is hilarious. Check it out. Thank you very much. She's quite the wordsmith, too. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan, and I'm also maybe slightly intimidated.
She's better than us. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, I think if we had to do like a Skype-in co-host, I wouldn't mind doing a show with her.
All right. Make it happen.
I'm just kidding. I don't know how. we've already we've determined we can't do Skype. We tried to do it from the living room to the bedroom, and that was...
We're working on it.
We are working on it.
All right, so Peg Jones gave us a review on iTunes. She said, my big sis Duffy got me started on your cast. Love it. Don't change a thing. That was Duffy Bruner from Project Archivist, who had hit us up a couple of weeks before. She had recommended us to Peg, and Peg gave us a review. So thank you very much, Peg Jones, and thank you, Duffy Bruner.
Yes, thank you so much.
And thank you, Lobo and Rojan at Project Archivist.
And thank you, Kevin Bacon?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
And then one last comment from Facebook, Andrea Humphrey. Another great show. I would stay there in reference to the Biltmore Hotel.
Right.
I would stay there, just not alone. Harley, I love your douchebaggery theory. I think it's spot on. Keep on keeping odd, my friends.
And as always, love the feedback. Bring it. We love it. It's just, it makes us want to try harder.
It does.
It makes me work hard. I think I grow up a little bit more every time.
Every time Brett gets a thumbs up on the internet, he matures about an hour. He's almost to like 10.
I'm almost at 10 years old. No, it's great. I think one thing I've enjoyed is now that we have the group up, it gives us an opportunity to be more interactive with our listeners and people that are new to the Travel Oddities.
Great segue, Brett. Send us your suggestions for upcoming shows or give us your feedback on our previous shows.
Vote on challenges,
facebook.com. You've got the Travel Oddities Podcast or Travel Oddities Group on there. Also, hit us up on the Oddity line, 7865-ODDITY. Give us a review on iTunes. Mm-hmm. We love it.
Give us a review on iTunes. It's helped us. We've almost cracked the top 100 on iTunes. Not bad for a little old podcast. It's only been out since October.
I agree.
I mean, honestly, if the honest and sincere truth here is, Harley and I have been trying to put something together for 12 years. Had you told us a year and a half ago that a year and a half later we'd be where we're at now, we would have told you maybe. But I mean, no, it's all thanks to you guys and the positive feedback, and as long as just keep recruiting. You guys are this is the Grapevine newsletter. This is how this thing works. Sharing is caring. It's people like Amy and Andrea. No, I'm kidding.
Peg.
Peg and Duffy and Big Mother Trucker, Anthony Shear and
Lobo
and Rogen and Rogaine and the little blue pills that keep us going for longer than 4 hours. But anyway, no, I guess in summation, that's it. This has been the Travel Oddities Podcast. Keep on. I'm Brett.
I'm Harley.
Peace.
Peace.